Hey gang, so I just started the series on, I'm just going to keep going because I have a dog, many dogs actually, there's one of them, there's another one, she's 27 years old, well she's 22, but we keep adding a year every time we tell anybody about her. Anyways, part of what I had struggled with was building a commander deck. You find a really cool commander and then you just try and make it work, right? There's a lot of obvious nuances in it. There's a lot of stuff out there on deck building on CEDH Rec and you know everywhere else. My favorite guy for building decks is actually Reminder Text. I'll post him in the comments below. He comes up with some cool like cheap commanders, but also heavy utility, built-in protection, right? So those are the kind of things you want to look for in building a commander deck. But exactly how do you do it, right? So as a random example, we're going to pick Lady Octopus, which I'll put up there. Hopefully I can get it small enough, which is why I'm not center frame. I'm going to try and put some cards up there. So she's a one blue mana tap, and you can play an artifact. I'm doing this from memory. You can play an artifact based on the number of counters on her. Every time you draw a card, you will then put another counter on her for the first and second time you draw a card per turn. So now, how do you break that card? Right? She's out on turn one with a counter on her, and on turn two, she's got at least one other counter on her. You need cards that will make you draw cards, and then, you know, artifacts so that you can play them. So there's three main things you're going to look for now in this deck. So obviously, instants that are going to make you draw cards. Instants, sorceries, whatever that's going to make you draw a card. Other thing I'm going to look for is if I can put in any of those cards, like in the new Spider-Man set where you can play them from discard. I can't remember what they called it in Spider-Man, but basically they have a discard cost. So if you discarded it that turn, you can play it, right? So take advantage of throwing away your cards. I don't know if they had any blue ones. They're typically black, but that would be what I would look for, right? So how do you do that? Well, I use Mana Box. I scan every card I put in, and I'll pull up now on screen what it looks like when you're using Mana Box. So grabbing Mana Box, I'm going to look for instants and sorceries that draw me a card, right? So what do I have? Then I can go find it, right? We have some examples of my organizational skills, or lack thereof, that you guys can use, or you can sort of have in your mind of how I find my cards. So I'm going to look for instant sorceries. I'm going to look for all my janky artifacts. I'm going to look for anything that lets me draw a card in an artifact, in a creature, a blue creature. I'm going to look for anything that if I discarded it, I can play it this turn in a blue. Because a lot of the draw cards have draw a card, discard a card, right? So, or as an additional cost to cast a spell, discard a card. So you want to be able to discard stuff and then use them. Not a lot of recursion in blue, not a lot of graveyard shenanigans you could do in blue. So if you have any artifacts for graveyard shenanigans, we'll try and look for those, right? So these are all the things that you can look for. Leverage the Oracle text in Mana Box to pull up the kind of cards you're looking for, and then see if you have them, right? So I can sit in a boring meeting, don't tell my boss, and be looking for stuff, and Mana Box lets you build your deck directly in Mana Box. I don't actually build the deck, I just throw all the cards that I have as ideas into that deck builder component, and that way I can then leverage it to build out my deck. And then I pull them out physically. You guys have seen me lay them out on my desk, and lay them out and see how they are, see what the mana curve looks like, right? So that's all stuff you have to worry about. I'm not going to go into too much detail on that. If you guys like more on that, let me know. There's plenty of videos out there on the internet on all of those types of things. For me, it's more about play style. Like, what do you want this deck to represent? What do you normally play? If you're, not sure, great. Then play different kinds of decks. Just do everybody a favor. Don't play mono blue. Oh wait, I'm getting ready to play mono blue. But anyways, it's not a counterspell deck. It probably have some counterspells in it. Oh, we'll see when I build the deck. I will post a video about the deck I plan on building, or I build with Lady Octopus in it, because I think it's just broken, right? On turn, if you do this right, on turn 3, you can probably get out. Let's see, that's 1, 2, 3. You can probably get out like a 9-drop. So it's gonna be fun. So yeah, that's all I can think of for now. If I think of more, I might flash back here and you guys will see me again. But that's kind of how I build out decks, right? So throwing in a little bit of mana box, talking about the layout on the playmat when I'm done, the mana curve. Yeah, I think that's about it. Yeah, if you like this kind of thing, like, subscribe, and follow. We'll see you on the next one.